Okay, and that's about the shortest introduction I had in about 2-3 weeks. So I heard some of y'all went on a swamp tour last night. Did you find any gators? Any nutria rats? Cypress trees? Cajuns? Anything like that? No? Well, you guys, when you guys participate in adult beverages last night or something? If I know Area E, there probably was a few going down. Well, the only area that ever gets kicked out of their own party, right? I've heard that before.
Who hosted that one?
Swamp tours and jungle juice kind of go hand in hand.
Getting bored, I mean.
So, welcome to, you guys enjoying Bass Lake? Yeah. Kind of nice to be up in the land of camouflage, four-wheel drive, guns, snow, and animals, right? Well, except for some of our city gals that I told them, I said, look, it's a trick about keeping bears away from you. Don't rub pork chops all over before you go walking in the woods. So I asked Karen what she wanted me to talk about. She said I can talk about anything I want to, which is pretty cool. So I think I will. But I want to start out with talking about your area director. So since I can talk about anything I want to, I'll talk about her first. Inside of that small, statuesque woman beats the heart of a giant. I want you to realize that you have an advocate on the board of directors. Not only cares about you as individuals and union members, but as a strong and passionate leader on healthcare reform, right? Yeah. She's union through and through. I think if you cut her, she'd bleed blue and gold like a lot of us in the room. And I want to thank her for mentoring me for many years, and it's a privilege to serve with her on the board of directors. I didn't think that would ever happen. I'm very proud to serve with Karen Gardner, and I want you to give her another round. I would say she's one of my best allies at this point, right? So, we've been traveling around. This today brings me up to about 1,100 members we've talked to since the 8th of January. We've talked about various things, but one of the things, since this is a leadership institute, we'll talk a little bit about leadership. That's why my throat's a little sore, I guess. I was talking a little bit yesterday, a little bit too much without a PA system. But anyway, so a lot of you are new to chapter offices. Some of you are veteran. How many new chapter officers from whatever office? Raise your hand. Well, that's pretty good. And so just to give you an idea of the maturity of the leadership in the room, those that have been a chapter officer for at least 2 years, raise your hand. Okay, 5 years. More than 5 years. I didn't know y'all had signed on for a lifetime commitment.
Needed agreement.
But whether or not you were in a hotly contested race for your office, or you were the last one that walked into the room and got picked, it doesn't matter. Because what it says is the members that you represent and that you work with and the chapter you belong to saw something in you that they needed. And that was somebody who was going to lead the way, was going to work to help represent them, to do all of the things that they don't have time to do, the inclination to do, or the desire to do. So how many vice presidents we got in the room? Y'all know that part of your job description is to do everything the president can do and don't want to do?
You feeling that?
Ben Ray got a t-shirt for it. But I study, some people say that I'm a history nut. You know, I've heard that if you watch one channel on TV more than a couple hours a day, it might be called an obsession. Well, in my house we have 3 channels. That's History Channel, the other History Channel, and the other History Channel. And if I have extra time, I'll watch the Military Channel. And we study history for many reasons. One is we like to study past leaders of our nation and of the world to see what they did right and what they did wrong. and to try to make sure that as a leader, we don't make some of the same mistakes they did. Now, I'm not leading a country, I'm not leading a state, I'm not really a world leader, but I am the leader of 220,000 union members.
Yeah.
And all of y'all individually need to understand that you're all a leader. Regardless of your chapter office, you're all leaders. And the members look to you for leadership. And the things you say and the things that you do reflect on your leadership, whether you believe it or not. And it took me about a week to figure out that I'm the president 24/7. Wherever I go, whatever I say, whatever I do, I'm the president of CSEA. I have no personal opinions anymore. Because they become the opinions of the president. So you have to be mindful of what you say and what you do as a leader. But you're also leaders in your communities, in your neighborhoods, in your school site, in your department. You have many roles of leadership. But as we study what I call some of the best leaders I reflect on are George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, all the founding fathers who all had founding mothers, right?
Thank you.
I was told one time you can't have a union brother without a union sister or a mother. So we want to thank all the union women. It just happened last night. I was watching Mr. Moyer's Journal on PBS, and his guest, one of his guests was Rich Trumka. Oh, right? Y'all missed it. It was good. Then he had a couple of other guests that were talking about the new corporation windfall and being able to spend all the money they want up to the last moment of an election. And then there was a man who just passed away. His last name was Zen, Mr. Zen. And he was a union storyteller and a union photographer. But they had a story about a woman who stopped a battle at a strike at a plant, automaker's plant, with a sit-down strike. And the police were coming in, starting to shoot the workers and beat them up, and the women got in front and stopped it. Right? So the role of women in the labor movement goes unnoticed a lot of times, but not by me. And I thank each and every one of you women. So, as a leader, like John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, Cesar Chavez, Mother Jones, right? Leaders have to understand several things. One, not everybody's going to be happy with the decision that you make. I want to meet the person that makes everybody happy because I want to read their book. So it's like you spend 3 months in negotiations, they're having a chapter meeting, and the chief negotiator says, we finally did it. We're going to get 40 hours pay, and we only got to work 2 hours on Friday. And this yahoo in the back of the room raises his hand and says, do we still get our 2 15-minute breaks and our 1 hour lunch? That's kind of an extreme, but that's an example of you're not going to make everybody happy. So you have to make your decisions on counsel from your executive board, counsel from our hired professionals, your family, your friends sometimes. But you have to try to make your decision based on the most information you have, and is it the right thing to do. Now, there's been many leaders who risk a lot of things. If you're going to be a leader, you've got to take risks. And your board of directors right now is probably taking one of the biggest risks that any board's ever taken running this organization with some of the stuff that we're doing. I explained to them the other day that we're running a marathon at sprint speed. That's kind of where we're at. We have a marathon between now and November, but we can't take it slow. And if you think about a marathon runner, they run pretty fast. 26 miles in a few hours.